am posting this video in response to a letter that I received from a man who came to the truth about hell and the shape of the earth. This man stated that he had been an atheist for years, but was brought to the truth through my video about hell. He stated that through my video, he discovered that scientists really cannot support many of their theories about the cosmos. He stated, science had blinded him to the truth about hell, but now he see that the interior of the earth is where hell exists and not the core, as he was taught from childhood. Those of you who remember, I told you that I am a teacher. I have taught for more than 25 years in the public school, spent some time in school administration and now run my own Christian school. And so I showed you in my YouTube video that, in the textbooks, although they had never drilled past 7, 8 or 9 miles, they have a picture of the interior of the earth. This despite the fact that no one has ever seen what lies beyond 7 miles beneath the interior surface of the earth. I shared with you some very popular children's textbooks that showed many pictures of the interior of the earth and its core, which is 4,000 miles beneath the earth. However, according to current encyclopedias, and all current knowledge, they have never drilled deeper than 7 miles. Wikipedia states that the Deepwater Horizon drilled the deepest oil well in history at a vertical depth of 35,000 feet. That's 6.6 miles. Again, how can they know what the Earth's interior looks like, 4,000 miles away, if they have never been lower than 7 miles deep? Furthermore, draw a picture of an Earth's core, if the only real evidence that a core exists. Logically, if these claims were ever challenged, this can mean real huge problems for those in the scientific community, because our entire understanding of nature itself rests upon this assumption being factual. Let me explain. If the Earth has no core, then the theory of gravity would be put on trial, because you cannot have gravity without a core, because it is the core that produces our magnetic field, according to science. However, if there is no magnetic field being generated by a core, then there would be no gravity. And if there is no gravity, then Newton was wrong. And if Newton was wrong, then Einstein was wrong. And if Einstein and other physics professors were wrong about nearly everything, how can we continue to support theories about our cosmology that are rooting in total supposition? This means, all of the textbooks shown to us with cross-sectional pictures of the Earth cannot be real because we have barely been beyond the crust of the Earth, only 7 of the 4,000 miles. Biblical cosmology versus science. Clearly, scientists are not ready to yield their position of authority to the Bible. However, this is exactly what they are doing by default. Their lack of evidence has left a huge gaping holes in their theories that cannot be filled with anything else but God's truth. The Bible tells us clearly that the hell is within the interior of the earth. The Bible describes our earth as a 3-tier world. The first tier is above the earth. It is where heaven is. The second tier is earth, and the third tier is within the earth. The third tier is called hell, Sheol. In God's description of our world, God dwells in heaven above us, then immediately beneath heaven there are waters in the earth. These waters are over the earth and under the earth. To protect us from the waters above, God has positioned a firmament. The firmament keeps the waters out and the inhabitants of the earth in. Therefore, the sky is sealed. Men cannot travel outside of this protective barrier, which means NASA has been lying about space travel. On the second day in the Genesis narrative, the Lord calls for there to be a firmament in the midst of the waters to divide the waters. The term firmament and its identity has been one of the greatest puzzles concerning the creation account, mostly because of its Hebrew definition, Rikayirakia. From 7554, properly, and expands, that is the firmament or, apparently, visible arch of the sky : firmament. Raka, a primitive root, to pound the earth, as a sign of passion, by analogy to expand, by hammering, by implication, to overlay, with thin sheets of metal, beat, make broad, spread abroad, forth, over, out, into plates, stamp, stretch. Most people interpret this to mean just the expanse of the sky, the atmosphere, or outer space, or both, which it is, but the full meaning goes well beyond that simplistic interpretation. The creation of the firmament is associated with the placement of some sort of structure. Many modern scholars consign the term firmament as a relic of a pre-scientific culture and translate the Hebrew word rakia as a dome or vault in some modern Bibles. It is rendered as firmament in the KJV. The problem that puzzles people is the implication in the Hebrew language of the firmament being a firm, fixed structure, firmament. Where is hell? The third tier is hell. Hell is in the heart of the earth. It is a place of punishment for the devil and his angels. Unfortunately, hell has also been reserved for unredeemed mankind. In other words, those who have rejected God's love, grace, and forgiveness afforded to us through the sacrificial death of his Son, Jesus. Jesus talked about hell probably more than any other subject. Hell is a place of fire. The man in Luke 16:24 cries, "I am tormented in this flame." In Matthew 13:42, Jesus says, "And shall cast them into a furnace of fire, there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth." In Matthew 25:41, Jesus says, "Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire." Revelation 20:15 says, "And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire." The Bible gives the location of hell. When Jesus Christ died on the cross, he descended into hell. In Acts 2, Peter is speaking, verse 31. "Seeing this before spake of the resurrection of Christ, that his soul was not left in hell." When Jesus Christ died, his soul went into hell. And in Matthew 12:40, Jesus Christ says, "Hiding God." Are scientists hiding God in the truth of hell? Could it be that by rejecting God's revelation about the nature of the earth and origin of humanity, that scientists have unwittingly joined forces with Satan in a cosmic effort to hide God? It certainly seems so. The Bible states that the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers, so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. 2 Cor. 4-4. Let us pray that God would open more eyes.